Hi, I'm David, and today I want to look at the power of passages. Now, Scalar 3 is a very complex program because it does lots, and it's easy to get lost in all the features and functions and all the different pages, but sometimes I really like to focus on the very simple things. Just like Scalar 2, it does everything Scalar 2 does, and being able to bind chords and apply performances or motions to them is one of the most wonderful ways to use Scalar 3. And I think passages, for me, are just wonderful. I want to have a look at a couple of tunes. Let's start with this one right here. I've got a vocal. I want to find some chords to it. Here's the vocal.
I should be brave. If it helps, just know I'm really trying to stay sane. Act like it don't hurt. I'm lying.
Okay, let me pull up Scalar. I've already got some chords that I prepared for it. Mainly open voice chords that I found through the voice grouping, mixing and matching open voice chords and the colors profiles. I found these chords. They're fairly straightforward. Let's have a listen. They are being triggered. So real simple way to use Scalar. Stick on the front page, find some chords, detect some chords, bring some chords in, and then just bind those chords and trigger them, record them as single notes in your DAW.
I should be brave. If it helps, just know I'm really trying to stay sane. Act like it don't hurt. I'm lying. Still can't tell if you were what lit me up or what brought me down.
Okay, we'll hear the rest of it in a second. But that's great. They're beautiful chords. I've loaded a really nice piano patch. I've gone to the mixer. I've put in a nice reverb. Everything's sounding really nice. I'm really happy with the sound. But I'm going to turn on a motion. Now, we can turn on global motions and they apply to everything. Nice and easy. Single trigger notes. Nothing complex there. And then I open up the motions browser and I'm going to go to articulations and I'm going to go to passages. And all they are, as we've explained before, is we had a bunch of pianists come in and say, when you're moving from chord to chord, how would you add some color? How would you twinkle a note? Or how would you, focus on a fifth or a third? Or what would you do? How would you make it sound like a pianist? And how could we interpret that in Scalar? And that's what passages are. So I'm just going to go to passage 1. Now, if I play that chord progression again, and I'll just solo it. Nice, I like it, and it's giving a nice bit of variation to the chords, but it's happening too fast, and that's because I'm actually, if we have a look here at my tempo, I'm at 170 beats per minute. So it's quite fast, and it's real simple to resolve that. I come into the drop down here, and I say, can you play them at half the speed? Now, what's going to happen? It's actually not going to get to the passage until you get a long note. So no passages there. But here we go. Look at these two notes. Here comes a passage. Another passage. So I got some real nice color. Again, now there'll be 3 passages in a row because I got 3 long notes. I think the magic comes when you hear it with the vocals and how it harmonizes so beautifully. Without any experience or knowledge or understanding, you can turn on passages and you really can create these beautiful harmonies and melodies. Here we go.
I should be brave. If it helps, just know
Same chords as we had
I'm really
before,
trying
but the
to
power
stay
comes in these
sane.
long notes.
Act like it don't hurt. I'm lying. Still can't tell if you were what lit me up or what brought me down. 'Cause I don't recognize this version of home. I'm broken, paralyzed, stuck in your twilight zone. Shocked by your house, it's not the same. Different people, different names. Since you left, I don't know.
But what's interesting for me is that now I'm going to go into the drop or the chorus. And for the drop and the chorus, I've actually got shorter notes. So they will not get to the passages. And then in the second part of the kind of drop, I've got these longer notes here. So if we just go straight to it and we listen to it, here we go, bunch of stuff happening here, so beware. And we look at I'm just going to cycle through these chords. You'll see here, no passages. Passages now. So you can see there that a real nice combination of, because I put the passages in half speed and I'm at 170, it's only going to get to the passage when it gets to the end of the chord. And the passages are designed really to be at the end of a bar or at the end of whatever your chord duration is. So without thinking, bunch of chords, turn on passages. There are so many different types of passages I could have used, but I just like to keep things really nice and simple, and it's made a big difference. Okay, so this one is a commercial release that's come out a few weeks ago from when you're watching this video, and we're expecting big things from it, and it's doing very, very well at the moment. And it's a lovely, lovely song featuring Kate Watts, who I call the Australian Adele, and she's a wonderful vocalist. So I had Kate and her co-writer Michael Mumford come up with some vocals and some chords. Let's have a listen to the vocals. So this wasn't the original vocal, this is the re-recorded vocal, but vocals are here. And I struggle with being alone. Now what was nice is the original recording was lovely. It was gave really wonderful ideas, and the chords are really nice by Michael, but I really wanted to improve on the chords and kind of extend them a little bit to carry home the emotion of the tune, because Kate is such a big vocalist in terms of emotion and feel. So first thing I did was created some chords in scalar. You can see them, they're here. I'll play them to you, and again, just noodling around, finding different voicings, voicing grouping profiles using the Explore page and the Colors page really helped me color those chords and bring the vocal to life, and certainly give it a little bit more color. So here's the chords. And I struggle with being alone. I remember that I'm never too far from my home. Everything that I need is inside me, I know. Okay, so that's the verse. We're going to get to the chorus in a second, but I want to talk about passages. And again, this is exactly how I made the tune. So in the arrange page, once I had the chords, I went to articulations, I pulled up passages 1. And I'm going to mute the original chord track so we hear just the passages on their own. Okay, it's a little bit too much going on there, so that's fine. I want to break these up. I could do it a bunch of ways. I could just grab the scissors tool and just chop it there and just get rid of that. So I've only got one passage. I'm going to just shorten this passage because I kind of don't want it to play the whole thing. And if I mute, I've got the chord muted, so we're only hearing the original passage. Yeah, still too fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm actually going to make it, let's try 0.75. Yeah, that's perfect. That's kind of playing it right at the end, and I'm cutting it off so it doesn't loop around. Yeah, cool. Okay, yep, I might do exactly the same thing over here. I might copy that passage across, and I might also, you can see it's about to play. If you look in there, it's going to play that last note. I'm not sure I want that last note, so listen. Yeah, that also, the timing's wrong. I'm going to slow it down further. That sounds really, really cool. Okay, now, do I want passages? Do I want chords? Do I want them both? Again, this is where I love just noodling about and being creative. I might actually shift and click, or I could just grab the mute tool and mute the actual chords. So here we're going to hear the passages and not the chords, and here we're going to hear just the chords, no passages. Yeah, that's really cool. Love that. So I'm going to move and create a passage here for this the B minor. And I'm actually going to go to passage number 2. Okay, so I just clicked the right arrow. I could have pulled it up here, but I've selected passage 2. Fantastic. Does it look a bit fast? What is it? Because I copied that passage across, it's kept that 0.5 timing. I'm going to mute that chord. Let's have a listen. Yeah, I'm liking that. I might actually copy that passage 1 there, copy that passage 2 there. They're exactly the same, right? Except this one's 0.75 timing, this is 0.5. Let's see if that works. I think that sounds really lovely. Let's hear it against the vocals. Yeah, I think that sounds really nice. And guess what? I've got the chorus coming up. Yeah, so we've gotten to this section. The chorus is the nicest bit. I did say there was going to be a reveal, and this is coming up in Scalar 3.2. So if you're watching this in November, you most likely got 3.2. If you're watching it in October of 2025, it's coming. This feature is one of the many new features coming in 3.2, and I'm genuinely really excited about it. For me, it's made Scalar 3 the tool that I think it really needed to be. Right click, add to scene, bang, you've got your scene right there. Everything involved and included in the scene. No more guesswork. I can just drag it, hold the command key, and bang, there it is, duplicated. And what's really nice is for the second section here, I'm actually going to grab all these passages and I'm going to get rid of them. I can rename the scenes. I can call this one verse. There's lots more we can do, but we won't spoil everything for you. We'll keep some bits for the actual launch. I'm going to just call it verse. Okay. And here I'm going to come up and rename the scene. And I'm going to call it chorus. There you go. Now I've got no passages in the chorus, and so just the chords, and then I've got these passages here in the verse. And for the chorus, what I want to do is I just want to just turn these velocities down. I'm going to come into just the chorus, select all the chords, and you can see the velocity values here on the notes. I just want to turn them right down. I want them to be nicely muted so we lose the passages and the chords go down. Let's have a listen how it all sounds. Passages in the verse. Chord should come down.
Breaking free from what's holding me back, I'm accepting me.
I'll just turn them up a little bit more.
Breaking free from what's holding me back, I'm accepting me. Breaking.
Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to copy the verse across here, and I'm also going to copy the chorus across again. Just going to mute those chords. We'll make these retain their mutes for the release, shall we? Okay, so now I've kind of got my verse and chorus, and I'm repeating my verse and chorus there. So you got passages, straight chords, passages, straight chords, and I've adjusted some of the volume so some of them play a bit brighter, some of them play a little bit lower. Let's have a listen how it sounds.
What's holding me back? I'm accepting me.
The lower chords, really nice, no passages.
Breaking free from what's holding me back. I'm accepting me. Breaking free from what's holding me back. I'm accepting me. Breaking free from what's holding me back. I'm accepting me.
Passages were there, back in the deep chords. Yeah, look, it's absolutely beautiful, and I really love using those passages because they just enabled me to make any chords, as you saw in the first example, very simple open chords. In this example, big extended 7ths and 13ths. The passages will take advantage of those extra notes in the chords, and without you even thinking, by turning them on using the one passage or mixing between the two, you can create so much variety and color. The other thing to note is I already have my bass line because I just dragged the chords straight from scalar straight into a serum track here. I could have done it within scalar and just used a bass follow, but I wanted just to utilize the power of the DAW, and then just kept the bottom note, deleted all the rest of it, dragged the chord straight in, kept the bottom note, and there I have my bass line for the drop. Yeah, really hope you enjoyed the tutorial. It's a really nice way to write within Scalar, not having to take advantage of all the other things, and just use something simple like passages to really introduce a nice element of color and power to your tune. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.